This is Brittany Verkolder speaking. I'm with the FDS SVP office. Good morning to everyone. I am here today with Shane McCorley. We will be going over the Strategic Partnership Program campaign. And so we'll start off today. Okay, so everyone can see and hear. So we'll be starting today with this presentation on PowerPoint, and afterward we'll go over to the website and he'll show you around. And finally, we'll wrap it up with question and answers. So continue using the messages on the left to write your questions, or if we drop out again and you can't get connection, let us know, and we'll get started. All right.
Thank you, Brittany, and good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us here today. Apologies for the little confusion there. The sound wasn't working, it seems, and it's a pity because I was just about to conclude my presentation. But so let's get started. I'm Shane McCorley, manager of the Strategic Partnerships Program. Today I'm going to take you through the program and what it's about, and we look at the campaign for FDS in particular. So what we look at is, and I'll give you an overview of the program, the benefits of why a company would want to be a strategic partner of IATA. We'll look at the different areas of involvement. There are 40 plus areas. We'll have a look at the specific FDS focus areas. And I'll touch on the annual general meeting also and why a company would want to join this particular level. And then I'll take any questions. So the program was established in 1990 with 8 partners originally. So in its 25 years of existence, we've grown it to over 400 partners. We're looking at about 420 plus strategic partners today. 60 of those are at our AGM level, which is the top level of the program. And as I mentioned, we've 40 areas of involvement. A lot of the companies participate in various work groups and task forces across these different areas of involvement, which touch on cargo activities, engineering and maintenance, passenger related activities, fast travel, FDS work groups as well that we'll cover. So all in all, it gives them excellent networking opportunities and the ability to engage with IATA member airlines, experts from the airlines in those specific areas or fields of expertise. So the benefits of becoming a strategic partner are multiple, and I would say, each company will see it differently. Some will want exclusive use of the SP logo and as being the sort of the main benefit for them. Others, it's to interact with our member airlines in various work groups. For others, it's purely AGM access. So it can vary from company to company. But here's a sort of an overview of the benefits. As I mentioned, exclusive use of the IATA SP logo. They can use this on their business cards, their websites, any letterheaded paper, other companies. So it's a sort of corporate membership, if you like. The only thing you can't do with the logo is attach it to a specific product and say that IATA endorses a particular product. That's the only piece. But other than that, they can use it as a corporate message. One of the other benefits is you get included in our SP online directory where we list our 420 plus partners, and the listings can be filtered per area of involvement and geographically and so on. I'll show you that on the IATA website shortly. We also run a quarterly newsletter. We actually are inundated with requests from our partners to put a piece in there. Generally, it's updates on IATA activities that we're running on behalf of our member airlines, new areas of involvement that we launch, and then it gives the opportunity for the strategic partners to promote any new products or services that they're putting out there to the market that they want to communicate with the industry. So it gets out to about 16,000 contacts, and that's a nice piece. We'll also have a look at that in involvements from the IATA SP webpage. One of the major benefits for many of our partners is participating in our work group activities, task forces, and so on. They vary and range in numbers and sizes from area to area. Let's take, for example, our passenger experience management group. We welcome about 120 companies to those meetings. About 60 delegates would be strategic partners from roughly about 30 strategic partner companies. We have work groups in maintenance cost for engineering and maintenance, work groups in cargo standards, work groups in financial and distribution services, passenger standards, airline distribution, so on and so forth. So we look at those in more detail also. But that's one of the major benefits. And why would somebody want to be there? Well, in many instances, it's a case of setting standards on behalf of the industry. And if the companies that are at the leading edge of technology or progress in aviation, want to be putting out new product services out there, it's pretty important for them to be in those meetings to understand what's actually happening and where we're going in terms of standard development. So updates on industry developments is very much a part of what we do. We have the extranet, which our strategic partners can access for different areas of involvement, where they can download any documentation. So they'll get that through the various extranets. They gain access to our subject matter experts for the different areas of involvement, and then they will receive preferential rates to attend different IATA events, such as the World Financial Symposium, World Passenger Symposium, the World Cargo Symposium, the newly launched World Maintenance Symposium, so on and so forth. And additional discounts if they wish to also sponsor those. So there are many opportunities available. In terms of the areas of involvement, this is probably difficult for you to see on the slide here, but if you receive the documentation, please have a look at this. You will be receiving it from Jocelyn also in a separate attachment. As I mentioned, we've 35 to 40 areas of involvement which are featured with their various price bands. It's an a la carte sort of menu, so you choose the area of involvement based on your expertise and what's relevant to your business. The top level is annual general meeting, our AGM, as I mentioned, which we've 60 companies on board at that level, and the price ranges, as I mentioned, from about $5,000 US dollars right up to the top level, 50,000. Looking more specifically into the financial and distribution services area, we're going to touch on the different activities that are part of that. In our financial services, specifically financial services area, we cover treasury, cash management, hedging, payment methods, new technologies, and industry accounting. You can find the product sheet here by clicking on this link. When you go to that, and we'll go into it after, when you go into the product sheet, you'll find who the subject matter expert is from IATA and the core activities of the different activities here. So it gives you a bit more information on what's covered in the particular meetings. So that's for the financial services area. In distribution, we have airline distribution standards, previously known as passenger standards. This is led by Dave McEwen and seconded by Marit Zikova. They cover activities such as reservations, ticketing, electronic data exchange, DCS messages, schedules information standards, BSP data interchange, intermodal air rail standards, and distribution in general. So again, you have access to the product sheet by clicking on the link that's provided there. That will go into more detailed information on the activities listed here. We've currently about 25, 26, in fact up to 30 companies on board, obviously the major GDSs, also then online travel agencies and technology providers who participate in airline distribution standards. Moving on, we have interline tariffs, which is an area that is led by Alban Sato. And the areas of activity here are global multilateral interline systems, international tariff standards, pricing and revenue management. And we have, I would say, about 12 to 15 companies participating in this particular area. And you can, again, click on the link here, which will bring you to the product sheet. That'll give you more information on the areas of activity and what's covered by Alban in his workgroup meetings. And finally, revenue accounting, currently covered by Terry Delaney, based out of Montreal. And the areas that are covered in revenue accounting are interline settlement procedures, passenger and cargo invoicing, billing standards, tax billing rules, interline billing. They tend to hold their work group meetings during or the days prior to the World Financial Symposium. That's where we get a huge delegation from both airlines and strategic partners meeting the same week. It's taking place in September in Barcelona. So that's where we'll have some of the work group meetings taking place. Again, information can be found on the product sheet and also on our events page, which we will show you shortly. So they cover the various financial and distribution areas in some more detail. Moving on, we have, as I mentioned earlier, the annual general meeting. Quite a number of companies who are involved in FDS, be it financial institutions or GDSs, technology providers, and online travel companies. They tend to also opt for annual general meeting. This is IATA's flagship event. It's where the highest senior level participants of airlines and strategic partners come together to discuss and debate key issues at that given time and moment. It's in June of each year, usually the first or second weekend. The next annual general meeting will be in Dublin, Ireland, and we will bring together, I would say, close to 120 to 130 of our airline CEOs to that particular meeting. And from our strategic partners, as I mentioned, there are 60 plus companies at that level. They generally are the CEOs, presidents, or very, very senior delegates who attend. So it's the largest meeting of CEOs at any aviation meeting in the world. It's an excellent showcase for a company to display its products and services. There are booths that you can take, and also it's possible to book meeting rooms there. And access to the AGM is through the Strategic Partnerships Program. To be invited to attend, you need to be a strategic partner at the AGM level. So that covers the AGM, and again, there's a link here on the presentation that you can click on that will take you to the AGM page. From there, you'll see some of the leading companies that sponsor the event that are strategic partners, and it'll give you an indication of the types of companies that are at that level in case there are some in your region that you feel you could approach in relation to that. So I guess the key message here in terms of the program and key benefit is it's about working together in partnership with our partners, companies that come from a wide range of different activities within aviation, be it manufacturers, financial institutions, lessors, companies involved in distribution or online payments, software, etc. That's, I would say, the key. They're the key targets for FDS related activities. Obviously, then in addition to that, there are companies that are involved in engineering and maintenance, cargo, etc. So it goes well beyond that also. And so that's the key message, is coming together to work in partnership with our member airlines and our strategic partners. So that's the end of the presentation, as you've just seen. What I would like to do is show you the strategic partnership web page where there's a lot of information that you can access. So we're just going to get the desktop up here. In the meantime, if there are any questions, feel free to send me a message. IATA.org. So if you're still with us, I hope you can see screen. Here we have the IATA homepage, and on the right hand side it's actually IATA Strategic Partners is listed under members, and if you just click on Strategic Partners here, and it takes you to understand how your company can benefit from the program. Okay, just a very quick question from Jordan. To whom I need apply if there is a proposal to organize an SP event in Kazakhstan. We can put you in contact with the subject matter experts who manage the various activities to see if there is an interest from their members or the companies involved to host an event in a specific area. So that's for SP events, because a lot of the meetings and work group meetings are closed meetings by invitation only. So certainly, Jordan, depending on what area you're looking at in terms of area of activity, is it passenger, is it cargo, is it financial and distribution? You can pop us an email and we can put you in touch with the relevant subject matter expert who would be able to advise on that. Okay, I hope that answers the question, Jordan. So as we said, we clicked on the strategic partnerships page, and now we are in the landing page for SP. On the left hand side here, you've got the directory of strategic partners. If you click on this is where I mentioned you can filter the strategic partners per area of involvement. So if we were to go into airline distribution standards, one of the FDS areas that we looked at, you will see the companies that are involved, and we have 26 currently, and there's the list there. You can see who's on board there. They come from different parts of the world, and we can go back now and do a new search, and let's have a look at all the partners. I'll give you an indication of who they are. So 429 partners, and there's the full list. So if you want more information, see what types of companies are on board, you just can click on here, have a look, and then find more information on the company in question, and then the area of involvements that they have chosen as part of the program. So for example, 3M have selected passenger facilitation as their area of involvement within the program. The areas of involvement are listed here. If you want to go into the product sheets that I was mentioning, you just go into the areas of involvement and you click on those areas that are of relevance and interest to the companies. For example, financial services. When I click on this, it gives you an overview of what it covers, and then when you click on the PDF file here, this will bring you into the product sheet that I was referencing to earlier for financial services and the different work groups and task forces. For example, our treasury, payment and hedging is managed by Stephen Darnley, who's our corporate treasurer. Here you've got information on what is covered in that particular working group, how you gain access to it. Same goes for then the e-invoicing supplier mobilization task force managed by Bruno Roussel based in Montreal. The payment methods and new technologies is Juan-Yvan Martin here in Geneva, and again it covers the different areas of focus for the group, and then the different benefits of being a strategic partner. One of them is a 40% discount on the IATA clearinghouse annual fees if you become an IATA strategic partner. So you have these product services available for each of the areas, and so it'll drill down into the different areas of involvement. We're just launching a new area called Airline Industry Economics in collaboration with Brian Pierce and Brian's team here in Geneva. And this area is going to look at issues of strategic importance to our airline members and their businesses and the suppliers. So the economics team will cover a lot of the reports that they produce in terms of passenger numbers, cargo figures, and so on, that they'll present, and there'll be an open type of discussion with our strategic partners. It'll be managed by David Oxley, who's putting the agenda together, so we'll have more on that very shortly. And you can see the types of companies that it is aimed at: finance providers, for example, regulators, policymakers, fuel suppliers, lessors, etc. So a wide, diverse group. And this is a new area that we've just launched. So as I mentioned, more detailed information is available on each of the areas of involvement here. Under passenger, you have the airline distribution standards. This is actually part of FDS, and that is one that we covered, managed by Dave McEwen. So more information again is available here, and the reporting lines as well in terms of governance is covered here. The process, basically it reports into the Passenger Services Conference, which will be meeting at the World Passenger Symposium in Hamburg later in October. So you can see all the information on this by going into the product sheet. Any questions on any of the areas of involvement, feel free to contact the Strategic Partnerships team, and we'll be happy to guide you on that. Now, in terms of work group meetings, we list them here in the SP page, so you can actually access the different work groups. I mentioned our Passenger Experience Management group meeting. It's coming up in September from the 1st to the 4th in Montreal. And then if you look down, we've got our Revenue Accounting, Interline Billing and Settlement Operations meeting in Barcelona, 14th to the 18th of September. That's just prior to or during the World Financial Symposium. So you can see the various work group meetings that are listed here. Our PADIS meeting is only open to strategic partners in the FDS area, for example, or any passenger related area. And you can see details on that there. So if you are looking for specific work group dates and meetings, this is where you'll find all of that. We have the opportunity for partners to list a testimonial if they wish, and also press releases they can send to us, and then we will post them up here on the strategic partner web page. I'm just going to go back here because I mentioned about our quarterly newsletter. The quarterly newsletter is featured here on the right hand side. As I mentioned, it's emailed out to 16,000 contacts. This is how it looks. It's an update on what IATA is doing on behalf of its member airlines and with strategic partners. For example, as I mentioned, the new Airline Industry Economics Advisory Area. We gave information on that. And as you move down, then our strategic partners have the opportunity to submit product updates or any sort of material that they want to share in terms of products and services. For example, MTU Aero here. So again, you can have a look at that. It's a nice plus for the partners. Let me just go and see. I think there are some additional questions coming in. So Laura, will we be provided with pricing per area? Yes, indeed. That is in this presentation. It doesn't come up well on the screen, but when you actually open the PowerPoint presentation, it is a lot. It's more clear. You'll be able to see it, but it'll also be sent to you in a separate attachment with the breakdown of the fees per area of involvement. Absolutely. So you will get that. The agendas of meetings, generally, it varies from group to group. Many of the groups will post them on the extranet, and so they will ask our partners to, access the extranet, then to gain access to the information in terms of agendas for meetings. We can send you agendas if there's something specific that you need or require. Drop us an email and we can get you the agenda, for example, for the next PEMG or the next aircraft leasing advisory group, etc. That's coming up. Winifred, are you going to share with us the current engagements with or interest from various prospects, either for us to follow up or to start engagement with? We're obviously working on new leads and new companies globally. What we would certainly like to have you do is widen that net, if you like, and reach out to new prospects. Jocelyn has a list, and you've seen the list of current partners available on the website, so you can actually check against that. Jocelyn will send you also the list, and certainly any companies that where there are some companies where we may not have the right contact, or certainly maybe need a new contact. We can send you a list of those also. Matteo, there was an update, and it has been sent to Jocelyn in terms of last year's campaign, and so yes, you will be able to get an update on that, and we'll send it to you as we progress and as we advance. And a second question, are you planning to provide the markets with an update? Yes, absolutely. After we provide you with possible customers, for sure, we can do that. Absolutely. So let's just move back then to the SP page. So I've shown you the different areas of involvement. The pricing is in the attachment that you will receive. We have seen the directory. We've seen the work group's calendar. I've shown you then the quarterly newsletter, which is an added bonus for our partners. And as I mentioned, we are inundated with requests for them to submit articles, which covers pretty much most of what the program is about. Additional information, we have the strategic partnership brochure that you can open on the web page. This will give you additional information on the areas of involvement. It's something that we use when we're attending events, when we're talking to prospects. You can send it by email as an attachment in PDF, and it gives a broad overview of the program. And finally, in terms of events, we looked at work group meetings, but also in terms of events, if you click on the IATA events page, I mentioned that there are discounts to attend various events. The discounts are, let's say for our open events like WPS or WCS, WFS, and the new World Maintenance Symposium, the discounts are roughly 15%. What you'll find here is, for example, if I click on the World Passenger Symposium, and then you go into the useful information, you get the pricing for the event. And as you can see then, our member airlines get the largest discount, travel agents have a preferential rate, and strategic partners do, as opposed to, let's say, a regular delegate attending. So strategic partners get a discount of roughly 15% on attending the event, and then additional discounts if they wish to sponsor a particular event. And that information is provided by the events team at the time of registration, and also inquiries when companies are looking to sponsor. So that covers pretty much the strategic partnership program. Please don't hesitate to ask any questions, and I'm happy to take any questions that you may have. Do you have the details of the campaign? Okay, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. We're just going to take the details of the campaign, and then I can share that with you. Basically, with the there's an Excel spreadsheet with the details of the campaign and the information that we are asking you to extract, if you like, from the companies. What it is who's the contact that you're speaking to from the company? What is the company name? What are their areas of expertise as such in terms of aviation? And what's their level of interest? You know, from your dialogue with them, is their interest high or not interested at all? Similar to last year. So that is something that you will receive from Jocelyn as part of the campaign. So it'll cover all of those items. Actually, it's a Word document, apologies. So it's the lead generation campaign survey, and you have the different countries, where they're from, the lead information, first name, last name, title, department, email, and again, as I mentioned, level of interest, the lead source, where it has come from, the possible areas of interest we have listed, and that is what we would ask you to provide us with when you're working on the lead generation campaign survey. Okay, I think that covers pretty much it for the moment. Are there any additional questions? Winifred, so do you need the local offices to engage prospects or just pass them over? Happy for you to pass them over, and we can take it from there. If the local office has got an established relationship with them and are happy to do the introductions or some of the groundwork, that's absolutely perfect as well. And then we can join them or assist them on calls if necessary. But certainly, I mean, the leads is the key thing, getting the right people in these organizations. And so that the piece in terms of the survey, what I would say is important is the level of interest, because in some cases we could be talking to somebody who isn't necessarily the decision maker. So who might say, well, the level of interest is not very high, but it may not be the right person. So it's a kind of a case of, okay, well, who is the right person? So if we can go, I suppose, a little bit further to find out from anybody we're speaking to, is if they don't have a decision-making power within their organization, who would have and who could we reach out to? That can be very helpful. And another point, Winifred, you make, yes, you don't want to speak to someone that we're already speaking to. It may happen, but we'll try and be as clear in terms of, who we're working on. And, so by providing us with this list straight away or as early as you can, we can advise you, sort of if you've got any potential prospects. I think what we certainly want to do is to avoid somebody who's already a strategic partner, and engaging with somebody who's already within the program. So it's important to look at the existing list, and we can send that to you, so that you don't approach somebody already involved, unless it's a company that is looking at a new area of involvement. But generally we will engage with them on that level. So certainly for any new prospects, yes, there's quite a lot in the various regions that we think would be interested. Any other questions? Just going to wait another couple of seconds. I think Laura is typing a message. Laura, besides avoiding the contact who's already SP, it'd be useful to know if you're already in conversation with some companies that would help to avoid duplications. Yeah, I mean, we can advise who we're in touch with. Again, as I say, in some instances, there's no harm in reaching out to companies where you may have a different contact. I would agree that, yes, we wouldn't want you reaching out to somebody we're already talking to, but it may be that's not the right person. So additional contacts is very, very helpful and useful, especially when you've got companies that have vast sort of levels of expertise in different areas. So certainly we can advise on the ones that we are, in touch with. And I think to avoid that from happening, but if you have a different contact, by all means, that will be very helpful and useful for us also. You're welcome, Laura. I think in terms of questions, if there are no other questions, I think we're pretty good. As I say, if you have any questions on the program itself, please don't hesitate to contact the team. The team is made up of Louise Denis, director, myself, Karim Ayari, based in Montreal, and Antonio Levergata and Phil Siponen, also based in Montreal. So feel free to drop us a message, an email, or give us a call if you have any questions whatsoever. Excellent. Well, thanks for your time.
Okay, so on behalf of the FDS SVPO office and Jocelyn Hidakon, we want to thank you for attending today's informational presentation on the Strategic Partnership Program campaign. Have a lovely day, and soon we'll be sending you all of the documents and links on where you can find them in the internet as well. All right, have a good day. Thank you.